Oh, yeah, you just said that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So, in other words, shut up.
Well, it's your call.
Jesus. Can you hear that chime?
That's my computer.
No, can you hear?
Oh, there's one on your end? No, I didn't hear
Good.
it.
Okay, that's when I mute. I use my foot pedal to mute. And I just wanted to make sure it was not interrupting.
Mine chimes when people join in, so it's chiming
Okay.
away right now.
Well, it's a dual foot pedal, and that's how I take a picture of people who are sitting there. I don't write anything down. I
Yeah,
remember when
it's
I
a nice
first started
trick.
doing these, I was trying to write down everybody's name, and I'm like, that's a lot of extra work.
Well, good morning. We have a bunch of people who've joined us for the ATC NSPW Grid Forward pre-hearing conference. More people in the waiting room here. I have tried to identify your screen names as I was catching you joining in. So just double check, make sure I have that correctly identified. Also, there was someone who joined us with iPad as a screen name. So I just like to know if you can just give me your identity and I'll add that to our list here. You don't need to unmute. Actually, I can unmute you. So go ahead. A person who's signed in on as iPad, can we just get your identity? It looks like you're
That might be
kitchen.
For Evergreen, Mark Bilefus.
Okay, great. Thanks.
On the checklist, I don't know what you have set and put down for today, but I signed it just in the one spot because I'll be here tomorrow.
Don't worry about them.
That's what I said. Signed it for today and dated it. Good enough.
Thanks.
I'll need you to sign this in a minute.
Up. Can you grab my type sheet and just sign?
I already signed it. I only signed it in one spot though because I'll be back tomorrow. One step ahead of you. I'm in the chair and counting that as transfers.
No, it's just waiting.
Alrighty. I love this pen so much. I'm going to solve it. Same as usual, 9 to 1.
See that? See that?
All right. Well, thanks everyone. We're still letting people into the Zoom meeting here. Just wanted to acknowledge, I think we have, is it Lindsay Scott? Did I get your screen name correct?
Sorry,
Oh, I'm still not hearing you, even though you're unmuted.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. Now I got
We're
you.
good?
I don't know what
Yeah.
happened there. Okay. Good, good. Okay. Still gonna let some people in. I do appreciate people who have joined us early. Gives me a chance to get those screen names adjusted. And we can start close to the start time. Just a note to the attorneys participating here. I would like to have people turn off any backgrounds that they have. And if you want to blur the background, that's fine. But we just want to show a real location here, not some sort of image. I'm not sure if I have everyone here, but it is time to start. We're missing least one party Pickert. Let's see. And that EM3 2 holdings, I don't see them. Right, well, the waiting room bell has been slowed down here. I haven't heard of any more lately, so we're gonna get started. But I'll let people in as they come. Doesn't look like there's any members of the public. They should be watching the live stream. This is pre-hearing conferences for parties. And I think we do have one person who has requested late intervention. Oh, here's one more person. All right, so we have just about everyone we're expecting, so let's get started. Get on the record, and this is docket 5 CE 157, the joint application of ATC and NSPW for the authority to build the what we're calling the Grid Forward Central Wisconsin project. My name is Michael Newmark, the Administrative Law Judge for the PSC. We're connected on Zoom for this pre-hearing conference. Parties are connected, and we're asking members of the public to join us or to observe the pre-hearing through our live stream. What we do here in the pre-hearing conference is identifying the parties, the schedule, issues, and any facilitating matters we need to discuss. And then there will be a few. But first, let's take appearances on the record. And I'm going to now display our service list. And like I mentioned on the email I sent to parties, this information here will be what we use to serve documents between parties and commission staff, as well as any official communications from myself or the commission will be emailed to this list. So there is a method, I include that in the email, a method for looking at reviewing the updated list we have in our electronic database. This is the list printed out not too long ago. I think there's a few typos, but I think basic information should be correct. But if they'll give you a chance to indicate any changes we need to make when we go over the list right now. So let's start then with appearances. First with ATC.
This is Brian Potts from Hush Blackwell, and I also have with me Alyssa Gehring from Hush Blackwell on behalf of ATC. And I noticed there's an A missing in front of American on that last one there with Alyssa Gehring, but otherwise that looks correct.
Got it. Yes, I noticed that myself. And yeah, there's no Cub with Cub's entry here. So who's representing Cub?
Corey Singletary for Citizens Utility Board, and I don't know if it matters, but the notation of Citizens Utility Board precedes Mr. Content and not myself, which make it look like I worked for ATC.
All right, we don't want to indicate that, so I'll correct that list, that part of the list. About Grid Alliance.
This is Elizabeth Wheeler, appearing on behalf of Clean Grid Alliance. And I will note that our suite number is missing in this address. It should be suite 201. Everything else is correct.
These are probably just cut and paste issues, probably correct on our database. So I'll double check when we get offline. How about Dairyland Power?
Rob Malley, appearing for Dairyland Power Cooperative. We did this last week as well. I don't know if you need the physical address. The PO box is our mailing address. but I can provide the physical address too if you'd prefer.
I think I have that on record now, so thanks for offering.
Okay.
Your
thank you.
Honor, I think you skipped Clean Wisconsin.
You're not here. That's why. Okay, let's do Clean Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Hi, Katie Nicola representing Clean Wisconsin.
Okay, and you've been getting the emails, right? You're on the service.
Yeah. Mhm.
For those of you that know what's going on at the commission at this point, I have several dockets running concurrently, to say the least. So getting these details right, it's been a challenge, but I'm glad we're all here to check my work here. So we did Dairyland. How about Dorst? Is that the correct way to pronounce?
Dorhorst. This is Tim Enringa. If you use the mailing address as 1601, then the zip code would be 53188. And I don't know if you want a PO box or not.
It's not necessary.
Okay.
If you didn't include it before, then that should be okay. Let me
Thank
just get that number again, the zip code. It was,
Sorry, 53188 would be the street mailing zip code.
okay, great. And that's for Doors.
And Mr. Olson's not here today. So it'll just be me.
Okay, great. So, so I just was curious, are you using a background or is that your actual display
It is,
in the background?
well, it is my background and I don't know how to get rid of my background.
Okay, all right, that's fine. If you could just have that fixed by the time we meet again.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay. So this is Timothy. Can you just pronounce your last name for me?
It's Andringa.
Andringa. Okay, I'll try to get that right. And then I can't recall if well, let's do this later. Okay, so how about EM3 Two Holdings LLC?
That's myself, Michael Rapicki, representing. That's correct. All the information.
Okay, is your screen on? I'm not seeing
It is not.
Okay, so if you're talking, you'll need to have your screen on.
Yes, sir. You want to see my beautiful face? There you go.
Yes, I do. Yes, thank you. All right, great. And I can mention, so one reason why I require that is for people with hearing issues, they can read lips on Zoom, and that does assist for people who need that assistance. It's an accommodation we make in anticipation of that being needed. So yeah, when we're speaking, we'll have our screens on. Thanks. And your information's correct. So we'll move on to Forever Green.
I'm here, Mark Balthus, and your information is correct.
Okay, great. I'll just go off the record for a second. We have one more person joining us. Not on the list. Okay. We'll do the appearances first. Okay, we're back on the record. How about MISO?
This is Max Meyer on behalf of MISO, also joined by my co-counsel, Jeffrey Small, and we also have local counsel who I'll let introduce himself.
Okay, let's have that next. You have to unmute.
Richard Heideman at Borman Clark, representing the continent.
Okay, thanks. NSPW.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Lisa Agramonte from Frederickson and Byron on behalf of Northern States Power Company.
Okay, thank you. Pickert, Steve and Chris, anyone representing Pickert? And I do have someone in the wings. I think I'm just going to let them in now just to check. Maybe they're connected with this party. Let's go off the record. So we've just joined someone to our Zoom meeting involving the Grid Forward transmission line project. So there's a David Holdener just let in. Just curious if you're connected with a party This is a meeting for parties only, and the public is advised to watch the live stream. So if you're not already a party or attempting to intervene, oh, I think no, there you are. Can you unmute, David? I'm going to unmute you. Hi there, David. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So not sure your screen name. Is this David Hollander?
Yeah, I'm actually partners with David. My name is CJ. I'm just here. He gave me this information. I'm trying to get on last minute as an intervener because our property borders the and I don't know if I'm in the right place even.
Yeah.
I kind of just got thrown this yesterday, and I know
Okay.
there's a deadline today. So
Okay.
I'm just kind of here to listen. I don't even know if I'm in the right spot.
You're in the right spot, but I'm going to just tell you to hold off for now, and we're going to get through the current list of parties, and then we'll take care of new intervention requests.
Okay.
Okay. So just sit tight for now.
Yep.
All right. So we'll continue on, get on the record. So it doesn't appear like anyone is in the room for pick art. And so we'll move on to Public Service Commission.
This is Sophia Rogers. I'm here for the Public Service Commission. Evan Whites is the other attorney on the docket. So we're going to be co-counsel there.
Great, thanks. Randall, Joseph, and Travis Randall, anyone representing them?
Michael Ropicki will also be working with Joseph and Travis Randall.
Okay, great. So you're authorized to speak for them today?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
How about Renew?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Sharif Halawish for Renew, Wisconsin.
Okay. And Southern Minnesota Municipal Power Agency.
Jack Herter, Your Honor, of the Dorsey and Whitney Law Firm on behalf of SIMPA.
Great, thanks. Village of Merlin.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Krista Westerberg and Samantha Foran here for the village. And Mr. Ruck is not on today.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Who?
Ruck.
Thank you.
And Wisconsin Industrial Energy Group.
Yes, good afternoon. Steve Heinzen for the Wisconsin Industrial Energy Group.
Okay. And Whippy Energy.
Good afternoon, Tom Hanrahan for WPPI Energy.
Okay, great. So we have reviewed the list, and there have been no objections to the current parties. I did have a few questions. There was some answers that we received based on my request in the notice of pre-hearing conference. I'm going to just display that. So we did ask for some supplemental information from the SMMPA and Dohorst, Pickard, and EM3 Holdings. So before we proceed with approving the parties, and we'll also need to review the new requests, I do want to I think I got the information I received from we just got a short name from Southern Minnesota, let's call you. So the information I got from Southern Minnesota was useful. I think what was missing that I was hoping to have you reveal was the difference between how Southern Minnesota is intervening in this case versus Badger Coulee. And I think so because in the end, Badger Coulee, it was SMMPA Wisconsin LLC that became the party. The procedural history, it's documented in the documents we're citing here, but essentially the parent SMMPA initially intervened, and then once the Wisconsin affiliate, I suppose, was created, then the Wisconsin affiliate took over that intervention in a separate in a new request and an order that approved the Wisconsin affiliate as the party. And I think they supplanted the parent in that case. And I was curious, since we already have the Wisconsin affiliate in existence now, would it be more appropriate to have the Wisconsin utility be the party in this case? And if not, why not?
Thank you, Your Honor. There really isn't a strong preference from SIMPA either way. And if it would be your preference, we'd be happy to have the Wisconsin LLC be the intervener.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll just let others comment if there's any pros and cons to switching the party. I would prefer that we use the regulated entity and the one that would ultimately own or operate a portion of the line be the party in the case rather than the parent company. That's just usually just our logical practice, but if there's any reason why we shouldn't do that, I'd like to know. So if anyone has a comment on that, I can take it now. Okay, not hearing anything. So yeah, so if you wouldn't mind, Attorney Hooter, to refile, I think we'd probably want to get another filing in, just switching your intervention from the parent to the Wisconsin affiliate. I appreciate that.
Very good. Happy to, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks. And for, so I'm sorry, but I can't remember if I know I got one more response. Was it Verdohorst? And I think the attorneys there were going to share responsibility.
That's correct, Your Honor. You'll only get one filing from us and only one person will ever ask questions at one time, but we are sharing the duties otherwise.
Okay, but we'll have you get served separately as well. So there'll be service to both the entire service list. So you'll both get service for documents too. Okay, that's helpful. Picard's not here. How about EM3? Can you just explain to me what the purpose of ceasing the attorney was, if you know?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Myself and the Randalls are both involved personally with this intervention. I guess we were reserving our rights to move to an attorney if that's the approach we need to take. First time going through this, so.
Okay, I appreciate that. It's not an easy process, so having an attorney would be, I'm not going to recommend it, but I'm going to say it may be in your best interest. And we'll just need to get them to file a notice of appearance as soon as possible, as soon as you engage with an attorney.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
All right, great, thanks. Okay, so now let's move on. I think we have, so I can, with the information I just received, I think I can admit everyone on the current list of potential interveners as parties. I don't know about Picart's reference to Ackerberg law, but we'll figure that out if we need to. So yeah, we have, so all the proposed interveners so far listed here on the notice of proceeding will be parties in the case. Let's move on then to an intervener, a late intervener. I do have that filing in front of us now, and it was filed on IRF, so there was, I don't know if they known to serve. The current parties would have just been the applicants at this time. So we do have an intervention from the Archaeological Conservancy. Lindsay DJ Scott, the Midwest Regional Director, submitted this request this morning. And so I'm not sure if the applicants have had a chance to look at this. So I will give an opportunity for parties to look it up or respond now. What do we want to do here? So I'll have applicants chime in first.
Yeah, we don't have any objection to admitting parties.
Okay, and that goes for NSP as well?
Yes.
Okay, any interveners, commission staff have an opinion on this? No? All right, okay. So we can let you in. The Archaeological Conservancy will put you in as a party. Oh, I did want to mention, so the party identifiers, I think actually this one I got wrong, Forever Green. So you'll see, and so what we'll do after this meeting, I'll be issuing a pre-hearing conference memo. It'll look pretty similar to the notice, but it'll have the corrections essentially. So one of them should be for Evergreen should be FEG. But otherwise, I think we want to call the Archaeological Conservancy AC for the party identifier. They'll be listed up there on the memo. So let's move on. We have one more person who did join us today, and I can take their request to intervene now and see where that goes. So we have, just have to unmute. I don't know if I have you listed here anymore. Oh, was it David? David Holdener. Yeah, you're unmuted. Can you put your screen on, and we'll entertain your request to intervene.
Okay.
Where are you? Give me just say something, you'll pop up.
Yeah, I'm trying to select the camera here.
Oh, okay.
My screen on.
It should be on. Looks like it's on my end.
It is, okay.
No, I mean, it should be, but it's not appearing. It's kind of strange.
Let's see here.
Not coming through. So we can go off the record.
Okay.
We did see it before, didn't we?
I'm not sure. I don't think it was on before.
Oh,
I'm sorry about this. I'm not very familiar with this.
All right. Well, I think we'll make do with audio only if we need to. So I guess first of all, if we do accept your intervention, I'll have you file a notice of appearance on our IRF system, so we can get all the details in writing from you. Intervening in the commission docket's not a simple task, so it does involve a lot of kind of technical know-how. So I just first of all, now you indicated that you were a landowner along the line.
Yes.
So let's just have you give us your name and your address and the property that you're concerned about.
Sure. It would be under David and Chad Holdener. And we are, I'm trying to get the plot number here. We're down by the Columbia County Alliance power plant right now, just across where we pretty much border the project. I'm going to see if I can pull up the right parcel number and everything here for you. I have it on a map here. I'm trying to see if I can get right number. I'm sorry, I'm not really familiar with this. It's pretty hard to do.
How about, is there an address?
Yeah, the address is N6068 US Highway 51. And that's in
N6068.
Yeah, US Highway 51. And that is in Partyville, actually. Across from the power plant, right across where they're going to put the substation.
Okay. Great. Okay, so now, so I'm assuming you're not very familiar with our process. So I'm just going to explain some very basics in general, just that we do have two different types of process to participate before in these application documents before the commission. One's to intervene as a party. The other is to participate as a member of the public. So public participation, basically you have an opportunity to make a comment that the commissioners will read. And the commissioners are the people that'll make the decision in the case. So you get to have your position put before the commission in a more informal way. So it can be in writing, or we'll have some public hearings where you could come and speak at the public hearing, and the transcription of the hearing would be provided to the commissioners. So that's more of an informal sort of there's less requirements and technical know-how you're going to need to participate that way. Participating as a party, of course, we have what you see here, the parties represented here mostly by attorneys. And the process is we take evidence from the parties in writing before a session where the parties join us, a hearing session where the parties join us. Then you'll be presenting witnesses in that written testimony, exhibits if you wish to provide documentary evidence to support your testimony. And then you appear at the party session, you'll be subject to cross-examination from the parties. And then all your, if we receive your documentation and your testimony, that information will go before the commissioners when they make their decision. So the two different forms of getting your point across to the commissioners, but one's much more technical, one is much more involved in terms of the process. You'll also be able to ask questions to other parties if you're admitted as a party. And there's a discovery process. They can ask you questions and that you'll need to provide them information, and you can do the same with the other parties in the case. So I just wanted to confirm, trying to give you a basic sense of the difference there. Probably didn't do a very good job of that, but if you understand a little bit about about that distinction, and if you're still wish to intervene, or you want to think about participating.
Yeah, I wish to intervene. I just think that there's enough impact on my property to intervene, and I just don't have the legal know-how to get through all this. But I'm going to reach out. I would just like to ask for a short continuance, maybe, and so I could get my ducks in a row here.
Okay. Well, I mean, since you are a landowner, I can admit you as a party. If you decide you don't want to participate as a party, you can withdraw from the process. But I can let you in, and then we can take it from there and see.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, but let me ask, before I do, let me ask, is there any objections to this person intervening? He appears to be on the line. I don't know if the applicants can confirm that address.
I mean, not right off the top of my head, but we don't have any concerns.
Yeah. So if something, I'll go ahead, Attorney Agramani.
No objection.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if there turns out that there's some misunderstanding about the location, you can let me know. But I'll let in the. So what would we call you in terms of your party participation, David? Is there a name of the property? I think there's two people involved. What?
Yeah, there's a company there. There's a company there that's we were leasing it, but there's a company called Forever Two Wheels. It's a cycle repair shop there, and it just borders the project. So,
all right. So we'll call the party name Forever Two Wheels. That makes sense to me. Great. So we'll let that in, and yeah. So you'll be getting some instructions. It's very detailed, very involved in terms of filing documents and getting all of your information in the proper format. So it's not, I mean, there's some pretty big barriers or big complexity to that process, but I'll let you give it a shot, and if you do want to just participate as a member of the public and give us a comment, we'll take it when we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Thank you.
So, all right.
Your Honor.
Yes.
This is Katie Nicola. I just want to clarify. You stated that all the parties that are listed in the pre-hearing conference memo are admitted, but we aren't. So just want to.
Yeah, and Clean Wisconsin. Yes, Clean Wisconsin is admitted as a party. Yes.
Thank you. Just wanted to be sure.
For noticing that. Yeah. Okay. It was not just my oversight. All right. So I think we got through our parties. Issues. We have sort of the generic CPCN issues list. Any issues with that? Problems with the issues list? Just let anybody chime in. For those of you who may be new to this, the statutes and code provisions that we're citing basically encompass all the commission's authority to make a decision in the case. So the issues you're raising, most I'm almost completely certain will be contained in those citations, especially 196.491 is the kind of specific criteria that the commission uses to evaluate a CPCN application. And for example, for landowners, there's some pretty particular language that the commission contains their directions on the information that it needs to review for people who are interested in looking at impacts to landowners. So any comments on the issues list? No. All right. Schedule. It's the proposed schedule from commission staff. Any changes, or how did the meet and confer go? Are we on board with that? I can let why don't we let commission staff just give us an update on the meet and confer.
Thank you, Judge. Folks seemed amenable to this schedule and considered following a similar middle of the road approach for those who are willing and ready to file direct. I think the date was the 13th. Apologies, I don't have the date off the top of my head. That there was some openness to having aligned interveners filing after the applicants, but before commission staff and other interveners that are not yet prepared.
Okay, so that yeah, I don't know if I recognize that date, but can anyone help out with the proposal for aligned interveners? Was it June 13th?
I believe it was June 13th. Your Honor.
Okay, great. So yeah, so this is something we're doing there because there is a great interval, pretty long interval between applicant direct and intervener and staff direct. I think it would, and because we have so many parties, it would benefit the process to have the interveners that are generally aligned with the project file sort of in between time after applicant direct and before the remaining interveners and commission staff file their direct. So if we were to set that at June 13th, I think that kind of gives everyone sort of a middle ground filing date. We just need to identify who those parties are. So go back to our service list. So what I mean when I say generally aligned, if you're generally supporting the project, maybe there's some specific things that you're not happy about or want to raise. That's one thing, but I think if the broad strokes of your testimony will be support of the project, I'm going to put you in the supporting intervener box, the aligned box. So let's just go down the appearance, the service list and figure out who those people are. So let's start with Cub, aligned or not?
Cub is not in a position to state that they are aligned with the application at this time. So we would be filing with the later date.
Okay. How about Clean Grid Alliance?
Clean Grid Alliance is generally supportive and considers ourselves aligned with the applicant.
Okay. And won't forget Clean Wisconsin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Clean Wisconsin is generally aligned, although we may have recommendations and suggestions in the docket.
Dairyland?
Dairyland Power is generally aligned with the applicant.
Will you be filing testimony in this case?
No, we are not anticipating filing testimony.
Okay. Dorhorst?
We are not aligned.
Okay. EM3?
We are not aligned.
Okay. Forever Green?
Maybe you can help me here. I'm specifically opposed to having the line on my property. The rest of it, where it all goes, I guess I'm aligned.
Okay, but will you be presenting any evidence in support of the project?
No, I will not.
Okay, so I'm going to put you in the not aligned box then. MISO?
MISO is aligned with the applicants.
Okay. Gart, PSC, Randall. No one for Randall. Right?
Randall.
Oh, there you go.
Randall is with me and not aligned.
Okay, yes. Renew.
Your Honor, we are generally aligned, but I wanted to raise the issue of like separating aligned versus not aligned. I guess Renew had an issue with just separating the testimony and allowing an extra chance for opposing parties to do rebuttal and direct. And I guess the issue was raised last week as well. So I just want to see if there was any discussion on it that we can have.
Okay, but I think, so are you proposing to separate your testimony for what's in favor of the project and what's not? Is that what you're?
No, I just wanted to raise the issue that of not separating the supporting or opposing testimony on certain dates. Like I understand the time constraints the PSC staff might have, but having opposing supporting on the same deadline for direct testimony, I think would be more equitable between the parties.
Okay, and then you're talking just about interveners or?
Yeah, interveners.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying, but I think we're going to try this process out. And I think it's, when you compare this process with our standard practice, people aren't getting an extra round. It's just, I think we have a number of the proponents here, and it makes sense to present that batch of testimony in the front end rather than waiting so much time here for the intervener and commission staff testimony deadline to appear in what is it, July? Yeah, but thanks. I'm noting your concern. Appreciate it. How about it's going to be SMM PA Wisconsin aligned, or I'm assuming you're aligned.
Yes, Your Honor, SIMPA's aligned on the project.
SIMPA, that's what I knew you had a SIMPA Wisconsin, okay. And Village of Merlin.
Thanks, Your Honor. I think we technically go into the not aligned. It would just have a routing dispute, but really doesn't take a position or not contesting need or any other aspects of the project. So
Okay, yeah, I agree. WEAG.
Yes. WEAG is not certain yet what position it's going to take.
Okay, so I'll just have you, you know what we're talking about. So if you come up with an alignment category, just file in the earlier date. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And Whippy Energy.
Yes, WPPI is aligned.
Okay, great. All right.
I'm sorry, who spoke just now?
It's Tom Hanrahan for WPPI.
Thank you.
All right, great. So now we have them listed. And I almost forgot. So I pretty much almost certain here, the Archaeological Conservancy not aligned, I'm guessing.
Yes, that would be correct.
And then the Forever Two Wheels not aligned.
Not aligned, correct.
Great. Okay. So we have all of that settled. Appreciate everyone for working with us on that. Facilitating matters. So it's going to be a little trickier we have people who it's a little trickier than the last week. Most of you were involved in the 5CE 158 pre-hearing conference last week. And I think all of you, all parties are represented by attorneys. So I don't know if it makes too much sense to review all of what I was saying before, except to say, kind of reiterate what I was saying, which is this is especially for non-attorneys, for people who don't have experience practicing with the commission. This is a very unique and detailed practice. However, the good news is that pretty much every detail you need to find is in this attachment, the facilitating matters ordered for contested case proceedings, and the Zoom supplement. So review that, and if there's questions, your first line of contact would be the assigned attorneys from the commission, so Sophia and Evan Whites. If they can't answer your question, they will refer it to me. But important thing in terms of just filing documents, you'll need an IRF account, an account on our website into our electronic filing system. And you'll need to follow the details here on what to name documents, how to file them, and common pitfalls that require refiling are things like page number conventions, disclaiming any citations that you're making in your testimony and exhibits that are not being offered for the record, and many other details that are in here. So review that, and then if you have questions before you file, best thing to do is before you file, contact us. We can help you, but you know, don't just assume you think you know what this says. Important point, I think, especially for first-time participants, is that in terms of the testimony rounds, the things that we were just discussing here, when people file, what we're calling it. So we have that direct, rebuttal, and surrebuttal rounds of testimony. That's for the written filings. And generally speaking, direct is the case you want to make, your case in chief, put in all the evidence you want the commission to know about. Rebuttal, you're responding to what others have provided on direct. So that means you're basically, you're not really adding new ideas. I mean, you could add a new idea if it wasn't addressed. You know, it should have been addressed, but it wasn't by the direct. But you're responding to the. Okay, so rebuttal, again, you're responding to what was in rebuttal. You're not raising new things. So generally, the filings are going to be sifting and winnowing the information and getting more pointed to one particular part of the controversy and getting smaller in size. So you'll see that you sort of winnow down the issues by going through this process. So be mindful of that when you're filing. Otherwise, it's just too complicated to review here in the abstract. So if you have questions, let us know. That's going to be the best way to handle this. Anything in particular people want to review or address about the facilitating matters? No?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Tim
Please.
Endring on behalf of Door Horse. I did mention this at the I emailed it. Our concern was that if you allow for the aligned interveners on June 13th deadline, our deadline in opposition is July 10th, which is less than 30 days. I see a rebuttal date of August 12th. So I'm just worried that if we have experts and stuff like this, the time frame to address any aligned in interest may not be enough. I don't want to blow up the whole schedule here, but I'm kind of pointing out that less than 30 days to deal with an aligned in interest that may change things substantially on our end doesn't seem like very much time. So I'm alerting you to that. I don't know if that would mean in our rebuttal of August 12th, we would have the opportunity to further address an aligned in interest intervener comment. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we certainly can play that by ear. This is actually, so doing the sort of midstream aligned in interest intervener date separating out interveners is actually giving you a lot more time than we usually do. So we've run hundreds of these cases and we haven't really had an issue with that kind of timing. This case is providing quite a bit of time compared to other cases we've proceeded with. So hopefully you'll be having enough time to respond. And we are actually kind of giving you extra time by backing up that aligned intervener date, backing up from July 10th up through June. So that was kind of the intention to give, and I didn't see your email, but that's what I was hoping to accomplish, is to give, since we knew people were aligned with applicants, getting their testimony in sooner, rather than waiting all the way to July. So hopefully that solves your problem. And if we need to address something, we can, but I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue. Any other comments here? I don't know if I mentioned we'll accept the schedule as it's written with the addition of the June 13th date for aligned interveners.
Your Honor, sorry, this is Elizabeth Wheeler with CGA. I had one issue I wanted to raise pertaining to the party hearing and appearance of witnesses.
Okay.
I am aware that our expert witness is not going to be available to appear in person on the scheduled hearing date, and I just wanted to make sure that it would be okay for him to appear remotely by Zoom on the scheduled hearing date. I know in the other proceeding, the agreed upon procedure was to have us file a request for that, and I was just hoping to maybe file it here right now to make sure that that would be okay, because he's going to be out of the country until the 25th. So but he can join by Zoom remotely on the party hearing date proposed here of the, what is it, August 9th? August 19th.
19th, yes. So, and what date did you think you'd be back?
I think he's returning on the 25th of August.
Okay. Yeah, I don't, so that was the next point I was going to make, which was that we are going to hold the party session in the PSC hearing room in Madison, which is kind of unusual nowadays, since we've gone to Zoom hearings. But in terms of having this many parties and a project of this magnitude, I think it bodes well to have at least the attorneys all present for the PS in the room together. We're doing the same thing in the 158 case, but what I'd come up with off the hook was a process by which we can request, parties and staff can request to have a witness appear over Zoom by filing a motion by the deadline of rebuttal testimony. And I don't think there's really a high bar for a person to appear by Zoom, since we have been doing Zoom hearings ever since the shutdown 2020, and they've worked fairly well. I just want to try to bring people into the hearing room, and if we need to have exceptions, shouldn't be a very high bar to allow that. But I did want to have an opportunity for people to object or come up with announce any issue with that occurring. So I don't know if I want to approve it in the abstract here, but I mean, there would have to be some compelling reason to deny that request. So I would, but it would filing a request by the deadline? Well, I guess you can file a request. Why don't you you can file a request as soon as the direct comes in, so parties can at least see what your witness is talking about. I think that would be fair, just to have a little more context to what your witness will be, what topic your witness will be presenting, just to give them a little more heads up as to what we'll have to be dealing with on Zoom. So if you want to advance, I mean, you could always file earlier. I think at the pre-hearing, maybe too soon, but possibly after, at the time you're filing your direct, if you could file that request. Also, there's nothing wrong with just getting a stipulation. You could just have people contact the parties and staff, and if there's a stipulation to that appearance, file that and then that'll be fine. But I think I just want to have that, take a beat and just have that person, have you present whatever arguments to the parties in terms of the appropriateness of having that person appear on Zoom. So let's do that. So I want to prove any.
Can I just respond quickly with a question? And one, so I did alert everybody on as part of the meet and confer that I would be requesting this, and nobody objected at that time, just as a point of information. I'm happy to file a request. However, I would like to know that there would be some flexibility to move the hearing date by up to 5 or 6 days if our witness does in fact need to appear by person, because it's going to be impossible for him to appear on the proposed hearing date.
Okay, I understand. Attorney Agramani, did you have a comment?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I was thinking about the standards for remote participation, and I have not before focused too much on the content of the testimony, but rather on that witness's unavailability. And I guess if I was in CGA's position, I'd be concerned about, can I use this witness if I have to defer filing a motion with Your Honor until after the pre-hearing? So I do think the timing is somewhat unusual here. And their practice has changed, I think, recently to require in-person as opposed to a lot of remote hearings. So we're in a transition phase.
Yes, certainly are. Yeah, and then it's my impression that it was the applicant. I mean, applicant was amenable to in-person hearings. It is raising this new quirk in, do we make people all come in or not? And what if there's a criteria for allowing them to?
Your Honor, I can add a little more context that might be helpful. So before we went to Zoom hearings, this same witness has appeared remotely, I believe, in both at least Cardinal Hickory Creek and maybe also in Badger Coulee, because I'm pretty sure because she put the name in the email, but the person lives in Boston too. So if I remember, if I'm getting the person's name correctly, so there is some precedent here with this specific witness that, and I think in the past, the applicants are definitely in favor of having an in-person hearing and appreciate that. I think if there's specific situations in which somebody would have to travel a really long way to come to the hearing, et cetera, we've, even before this, allowed them to participate via Zoom. So ATC doesn't have any problem with this particular witness. But I also understand what you're saying, that nobody's seen the testimony yet.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, if you can come to an agreement, I would just rather see something filed rather than just do it here in the abstract. So either file an agreement or file a request if you can't get agreement. And I would say if you do it rather than waiting for rebuttal, if you do it during the direct filing, that gives you more time to plan. I don't think it's possible to run the hearing. Well, maybe we could take one witness later. I don't know. We'd have to work that out.
On commission staff's part, there's really no possibility of changing the hearing dates.
Okay. Well, I think that all goes into the mix then. I mean, it's obviously if this person can't make it, pretty good reason. So I just don't want to rule right now. All right, so I will approve the schedule as listed with the addition of the June 13th filing. Any other questions about that schedule? No. Okay. All right, so if there's no other issues with the facilitating matters, I think that's all we need. Anything else we need to address before we adjourn? No? All right. Thanks very much then. We're adjourned. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.